All right, y'all. We back. It's playoff time. It's playoff time. It's playoff time. It's your boy Just Say G here alongside Alec Foster for another episode of Section.300. Appreciate you guys for tuning in again. Continue to like, rate, review, subscribe to the show. Appreciate all the love. We're talking a whole lot on social media. Follow us on Twitter, Section.300 Pod. Follow us on IG, Section.300. We're there having a good time, and I would love to converse with you, all of you guys. So we're back in with another episode. We are hours removed from the Blazers and Grizzlies game that just happened, and the Blazers won. And now the playoffs are set. We have both conferences have their 1 through 8 finalized, and we're getting ready to jump into it and get this bubble playoffs, get that going. So, right. Alec, let's start with this game that just happened, man. What do you think about the Blazers fighting it off Ja and the Grizzlies and holding on to this 8th spot?
Yeah, it was a great game to watch. I think the format of having this play-in game is something that the NBA might want to look into continuing it in future seasons, even without the bubble, just because I think it ups the ante, it ups the competition, guys playing, giving their all, fighting for that 8th spot. Yeah.
Can we say that for a second too? I like that as well, because as we talk about how competitive, like at least on the Western Conference, teams like the Warriors coming back next year and others on the rise, it's going to be very competitive 1 through 8 all the way through. So now when you have a chance where if you have that 8-9 thing where it's the Warriors are there, the Blazers are there, the Suns are there, let them all fight off and get to some last game where they can play it rather than some tiebreaker be the reason why. Yeah. So, I definitely
like the tank too. Because a lot of times in the season you'll see if teams see they don't really have a shot at that 8 seed or a playoff spot, they're looking towards the next season, looking towards that next draft pick. Looking to play their young guys, not really looking to win. But if you have a shot, even just making a 9 seed to get into the playoffs, then guys are still or organizations are still gonna want to compete. But this game for sure, it was a good one. It was nice to see Ja performing on a big stage too, like probably most important game of his career, and he did what he could for his team, put up 35 and 8. Just the Blazers had too much firepower, and I mean, I wasn't really rooting for anyone between those two games. I kind of wanted to see what's it called, like a game 2, I guess, of the play-in, just to kind of up that game 7 feeling. But I think most people predicted Blazers winning this game.
We all did. Yeah.
And eventually being that 8 seed. So it kind of turned out how we predicted, but it ended up being a very competitive, compelling game to watch for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. And I enjoyed it. I was watching the whole time, and it was what's on the show. Another big part of it that we didn't, that was unexpected. Everybody talked about the guard matchup between Damon CJ and Ja and Dylan Brooks and all those guys over there. But people that stepped up as well were the bigs, actually. Yusuf Nurkic, whose grandmother actually died this morning from COVID. So I want to send our condolences to that family as well. Him, as well on the Grizzlies side, Jonas Valanciunas, both came out in the first half with like 15 each or something like that. They both were balling in the first half. So having guys that when you see that your guards are doing their thing, having the big step up as well and contribute was a major factor. So I'm glad that they did that as well. So definitely enjoyed the game. I think it's a great send off. Though it was on a sad note for Ja that he was on the losing end. I think in the same way with the Suns, how they get to end on a positive note, having an 8-0 and leaving on that high. I think on that same way, though he lost, Ja way down swinging. I think that's going to build great momentum going into next season. So definitely looking forward to all things in Memphis. Plus, they're going to get Jaren Jackson Jr. back next year because he was out this game. So having that, right. Once those injuries get cleared up, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So definitely looking forward to them. Definitely a great game that we saw. But now going to the playoffs as the 1 through 8 has been finalized, do you think the Blazers have a chance against our Lakers or what?
I think we got Lakers in 6. I think the Lakers are going to have trouble guarding Dame and CJ for sure. They have trouble with quick, athletic guards that can score, and Dame's damn near cemented himself, at least like as a top 10 player, I would say, in this league. Maybe top 5 right now, though, just in the bubble right now.
For sure.
And so it's going to be tough to stop those guys, but they're also going to have a ton of trouble, I think, stopping AD. And they have no one that can match up with LeBron, so I think LeBron's going to feast. AD is going to get Nurkic coming at him, and maybe Zach Collins, he got hurt today.
Right, I saw that.
And maybe a Whiteside, but he's got to be playing well, because if he's not playing well, he gets taken off the court pretty quick. So I think AD and Bron are going to feast, and Dame and CJ are also going to feast, but I think AD and LeBron get the slight edge for me.
Yes, those two are going to do their thing. We predict that. And I'm really in agreement with you, to be honest. I see the same thing. I will say that I just because of how hard that team fights and just the run that Dame is on right now, I could see them winning 1 or 2 games, but not winning the whole series. But going to the Lakers, though, who will be the third piece to make sure that the Blazers don't steal a couple more from us?
Just from an impact standpoint, or like scoring? Or
impact wise.
Impact wise, that's interesting. I think there's a couple guys that could. I think scoring wise, Kuzma should and probably will. He's been playing well, actually. I want to give him credit because we can be tough on him for sure.
Definitely.
I think Danny Green is someone that needs to step up and has stepped up in the past, like when it's come down to playoffs and finals. Like Danny Green's been a knockdown shooter for a lot of teams, won championships multiple places. So I think Danny Green can be one of those guys. I think the rotation is going to shorten up a little bit, so I don't know how much of like a Dion Waiters you're going to see. I don't know how much of like Caruso, and Caruso could be important too. But I think the rotation is going to shorten up, and Rondo's going to come back, so Vogel's going to try to squeeze him in.
Question, just a thought. Could it be the opposite? Could it actually be we don't have a solidified point guard, shooting guard on our roster. We don't have a Dame or CJ. We don't have anything close to that. Let's be real. So could it be a thing where we just throw everybody at him? We just end up throwing Dion at him. We throw Caruso. We throw JR. We just throw all our guys there just to combat against them. So instead of shortening the roster, we expand it a little bit more just to have more guys that can go up against them. Because not only do they have Dave and CJ, they have Gary Trent Jr. and Melo, who we talk about at times, and all these other guys that come in and will make shots when they need to, as we have seen for that team. So in that same way, we got to have guards on our side that can help out and combat some of that. So, it can go either way. But, I see what you're saying as well, though.
Yeah, I think we should start Kuz, actually. Like, he's been coming off the bench a lot, but he's been playing well defensively, and that's what a lot of Lakers fans want to see from him. And then he's been a little bit more consistent shooting the three. I think he's been the most consistent for the Lakers shooting the three in the bubble. So I think having him in the starting lineup, too, also boosts his confidence a little bit, too. He's still a young guy, and being a starter also plays into that. So
I think midway through the year, or maybe it was a little bit earlier than that, we had a lineup that started LeBron at the point, Danny Green, Kuzma, AD, and then I think JaVale was the center. Are you referring to go back to that, or bumping down AD, or how you bring Kuzma into the starting lineup?
I'd probably go. I want AD at the 5 probably. So like I'd probably go Caruso, Danny Green, Bron, Kuzma, and AD. Yeah. Okay,
that works for me. I'm fine either way. I know that AD himself has said multiple times that he prefers that 4 spot. I think the Blazers, if Melo's their 4 or whoever is Zach Collins, either one of those guys is there, I think that's about chicken all day if AD's in that spot. But there's easily rotations and things that can happen that still make that possible. But I think either way it works out.
I think AD can play the 5, and I think he'll need to, just because I think JaVale kind of becomes unplayable in playoff situations. When you can't create for yourself and you're given limited benefit to us, like on the defensive end, like we're gonna need AD playing most of those minutes, and then Dwight off the bench at the 5 spot. So
Yeah. All right. Well, as we both have said, I think our prediction is sounds like it's the same one for both of us. Lakers in about 5 or 6, right? That's where we have it. Yeah. I'm definitely rolling with that. So we're looking forward to that. And as we go down the rest of the league, let me pull up this thing that has all the games that are. So we got Rockets Thunder now as well. That's a big one. Chris Paul now in OKC. We talked about him being the MVP finalist and all that he's done this year.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen in that series?
I think it's going to be a quick one, even without Russ. To be honest, I think I'm looking at like Rockets in 5, personally.
I say more like 6 and could possibly go 7. I think Chris Paul is going to put up a fight. I think when you have the storylines that go beyond just the teams that are there, having Chris Paul wanting to get revenge on the Rockets and things as well. When you have that kind of stuff going on, as well as the rise of other players on that Thunder team, say Gilgeous-Alexander and others, I think that they can put up a good fight. And with the Rockets saying small ball, I think that the Thunder can find a way to combat that. We talk about Billy Donovan being coach of the year. If he truly is one of those guys, he should be able to find some kind of lineups that can shut that down a little bit. So I'm saying 6 or possibly 7. And I still may go with the Rockets. I'll still lean with the Rockets because I think I really want, even though we're Lakers fans, I want to see Harden succeed. I want to see Russ succeed. I do like them and want to see them do well. So getting out the first round at least, I like to see them do that. I got the Rockets winning in 6 or 7, but I don't think it's going to be quick. I don't think it's going to be easy either. So that's our thoughts for that one.
I wouldn't necessarily say easy, but I do think they'll make pretty quick work of them. I don't think they have some good defenders, but Harden is the clear best player in that series, and then it's a significant drop to, since Russ is out, I guess CP3.
Mm-hmm.
And then down the I like their wings, and they just have to make their shots. Because I like Covington, I like PJ Tucker, I like Jeff Green comes out of nowhere sometimes. It has good playoff games. They just got Eric Gordon back healthy too. Austin Rivers saw a drop 40.
When their shots fall, they're top of the league. When they don't, and they have one of those, everybody refers back to that 0 for 27 type of game. Once that happens, it can get ugly as well too. So
they like to play with pace and run. I think I like their small ball formula. I think the Thunder are going to struggle with trying to keep pace with them with that a little bit, and that's not really necessarily their game. So
gotcha.
That's why I give the Rockets like the more clear edge personally. But I see your point too.
Yeah. So we shall see. I'm saying Rockets in 6 or 7. You're saying Rockets in 5. So that's definitely a series you guys want to look out for. That small ball lineup. Flip side, the Nuggets went big with their 7-player lineup, and they're playing the Jazz in the first round. Do you think the Jazz can beat those big guys, or how do you see that series going down?
I got a Nugget sweep.
A Nugget sweep. Listen. I can't do my boy like that.
I know VA is on the squad.
I can't do it. I'm letting bias get in the way. I've done it plenty of times before.
We love VA here, but
I can't do it. I gotta give those boys at least one. But I do see you though. I hear you.
I think the Jazz are the worst team in the West here, to be honest. Looking at the 8 teams here. Like the Blazers are the 8th seed, but I would take the Blazers over the Jazz in a series.
Listen, hey, I disagree. I disagree.
And I'm not even saying they're bad. There's just a lot of good teams in the West.
That's just how good the West is. Yeah. So,
what's your prediction?
Hey, fast forward, bro. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say Nuggets in 5. I'm gonna give the Jazz 1.
You gave them 1,
but it seems like, as you have also said, that the Jazz went from a team on the rise that could cause a real threat in the West to a team that kind of might have reached their peak already and may need to look for a restart and try to blow that thing up. They talked about dysfunction between Donovan and Rudy, and things it's not blow it up. They got to change some things around.
They also have Bogdanovich out for the season. He was like their second leading scorer, so that hurts their ceiling a little bit too. I think they'd probably put up more of a fight if he was there and healthy. But Donovan, who's their second leading scorer after Mitchell? I
can't even remember. I was going to say Money Man Mike Conley has not been the guy that they hoped him to be.
He's going to be an X factor. If he's playing well, then they can maybe make it a series. But
right, if he steps up, they definitely can do something. If not, as you're saying, it's going to be real quick. So I'm giving them at least one game. You're saying sweep, possibly.
The Nuggets are scary, man.
I know, dude.
They got so much talent, so much.
We talked about it a few times. I see it, but I got to give my boy at least one. So yeah, Nuggets in 5, and we'll go from there. So
okay.
Now moving down the rest of the West, another major series that I think is going to be more competitive than people think is the Clippers and Mavericks. I don't think there's going to be a quick sweep or like people are saying anything close to that. I think Doncic. People talk about how this break that we had from the end of the season earlier in the year to the restart now, it kind of pushed guys into. I know we may still call them the rookies or whatever, but kind of push them a year forward. It's kind of like they're in a start of a new season. Like they're here and going again, and they leveled up during that break that they had. And Doncic is someone who we didn't think he could do any better this early than he already done when we first saw him. But he came back from this break that we were on and seemed to level up yet again, and is on what could be next year MVP type level with the way he's playing. So I think him playing well. Kristaps still finding his way around down there. I think those two could be a major threat against this Clipper squad. I will not say they're going to win the series, but in a situation where it definitely could go 6-7 games. So I'll say Clippers in 6.
That's my exact prediction. Clippers in 6. I think it will be a good series, like you said. Luka's probably top 5 in that MVP race. Porzingis playing well too. They got a lot of shooters that aren't really talked about, like Seth Curry and Tim Hardaway and Finney Smith. And they got a pretty good team out there. I think they're going to challenge the Clippers. Both the Clippers and the Lakers are going to have pretty tough roads. I think they'll both make it to the Western Conference Finals, but they're both going to have pretty tough roads there.
Whoever gets there is going to work for it. Like this is not those LeBron in the East walking through the whole conference type thing. Whoever gets there is going to have to put some real work in to get that done. So I definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah. So we're in agreement. Clippers in 6 on that one.
Do you think that Luka is this another level that Luka could hit right now and step up and find a way to shut the Clippers down? Or another thing, I'm kind of moving 2 ways at once.
Okay.
Could be another situation as well where the Clippers look ahead. I know they see Luka as somewhat of a threat, but they look forward and it's like all eyes are on the Lakers. Like Clippers-Lakers have their eyes on each other. They've been talking all year long. It's been all this. Those two are the ones that people want to see. And I think that has kind of gone to the players as well, as we've seen a little bit of talk between them. So with that, could the Clippers look ahead and kind of ease up on the Mavericks and end up getting beat or possibly upset in this season?
Only reason I say no to that is because they're a veteran team and it's led by Kawhi. And I don't think Kawhi is one that's like looking ahead, that kind of thing. Like Kawhi is very much about his business and winning basketball games. Like we joke about him being a robot. Like he cares about getting the W and playing good basketball, and that's pretty much it. So I don't really see them looking ahead. And they got guys that PG is a vet. He may be one that could potentially look ahead, but other than that, they got veteran guys that are hungry. And Patrick Beverley, and they got Montrez back as well too, which is going to be a great addition for them. They haven't had him in the bubble yet. I think they'll take care of business.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just throwing ideas out there. We've seen a lot of chatter between them and other teams in the West, so they could look ahead to them. Just throwing ideas out there. But like you said, I joked about LeBron and his zero dark whatever mode that he walks into. Kawhi has that same type of thing. When it's playoff time, he locks in. He tries his best, and more often than not, recently he's gotten the job done. So I think that's a major thing. Also, Paul George, my boy. I think after all the hate we were throwing his way, all the times when getting buzzer beaters hit on him and all, et cetera, where he's been at the bad end of punchlines and things. I think he'll take that to heart and he's like, hey, I'm trying to shut this down and really get the job done. So
you think Luka hits a buzzer beater in his face in this series?
Now that still might happen. It won't happen 4 times, and I still think
right.
Series. So
yeah,
I got Clippers in 6 in that one. So definitely going to be entertaining in the West. We'll get back to that further down in regards to semifinals and finals as the playoffs progress. But for now, that's our first round prediction for the Western Conference. Now going to the East, though, definitely some more good matchups there. At the top, we got actually I don't know if this is a good matchup. the Bucks and the Magic.
Matchup.
This is probably the only. There's actually there's a couple bad ones in here, to be honest. And this is one of them. I got Bucks in the sweep on this one. I don't think Giannis ain't playing around.
I'll say Bucks in 5. Yeah,
and why?
Same like as last year. Magic played the Raptors in the first round, and they stole game 1 in Toronto from them. And I think they have a team that plays hard. They just can't match them talent-wise. So I think on sheer effort alone, I think they'll get 1 out of them, but not much more than that because the talent's too high.
Yeah, the Magic are always in that spot trying to upset somebody. They're always kind of stuck in that bottom of the Eastern Conference and hoping for the best. While I do see what you are saying, I think not having Jonathan Isaac in that as well is why I don't think they'll win the game. I think Jonathan Isaac was one of those guys that could have got in Giannis's way legitimately. Without him,
I think they'll get Aaron Gordon back. I'm not sure.
Aaron Gordon could, but I think Giannis just he seems to be on a different kind of mindset as well. We think about Kawhi and LeBron, all those guys. Giannis is ready to lock in too. He's so aggressive. He was headbutting guys. We didn't even talk about that. Yeah, exactly. So he's full go mode right now, full aggression, ready to just go at whoever's in his way. So I don't think he plays around with this Orlando squad. And the Magic get sent home quick.
Giannis not gonna play with his food?
No, not at all. Not this time. So yeah, I got the sweep on that one.
All right.
Do you want to say something about the headbutt again, or are you gonna leave that?
I will say like he did headbutt him kind of, but it looked kind of floppish from Wagner to me, honestly. Like he kind of walked into him and then like back a little bit.
But when you have Giannis, who's a 7-foot just behemoth, whatever you want to call him,
a Greek god.
Yeah, when he headbutts you, even if it's light, you're gonna feel something. So
he definitely felt.
There's a little bit, and then you have the NBA flop into it. You're gonna flop around a little bit with our guys and do exactly what Mo did. So I have no problem with him doing that.
No, I don't have a problem with it either. And maybe that's not fair because if another guy did that, we might have been mad at it. But I think we like Giannis here, and we like the competitive edge that he plays with too.
People were saying
kind of an extension of that.
People were saying though that with that at times Giannis picks and chooses when that energy comes out.
Yeah, like, I didn't see that game. So I didn't see what happened prior.
I didn't really see either. But they're saying like with the Wizards, you're definitely going to see that. But against the Celtics or somebody, he might be a little bit more reserved because you know that they have a real threat to beat
I think
him.
You still see that, to be honest.
I think the same thing. I'm just saying all the time when people were saying he picks and chooses, but hey, if y'all think that, then we'll let him prove you guys wrong in this playoff. So, definitely looking forward to that. And then we talk about competition. These two teams, the Heat and the Pacers, have been going at each other all year long, and it's bound to be a great series that I'm looking forward to. How you see that one going down?
Jimmy Butler, low-key, might be the T.J. Warren whisperer because that was the game where T.J. Warren finally like came back down to earth when they played the Heat in the bubble. So T.J. Warren been going crazy.
We're calling T.J. the next MJ. We're talking about how he's getting big contracts next year. Jimmy Butler was like, "Hey, y'all, he just shut up. He is not that. He is not that." So
he said he's been playing well, but he calmed that down.
Yeah, he shut that thing down real quick. So go ahead, bro.
But so he might be the T.J. Warren whisperer. I mean, T.J. Warren, I think he got because they did an award for like all first team all bubble kind of thing, and he was one of the 5 players selected for that, deservedly so. So I mean, it's going to come down to if he can get back to that MJ level.
Did they also say? Didn't they say he had plantar fasciitis or something in his foot?
He does. I think he does have an issue with his foot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
that could play. That could be an issue as well too in the series. But I think the Heat. A lot of people were high on the Heat during the regular season before the pandemic as well too. Like they were one of the best home teams. had a great defense, led by Jimmy Butler and Bam, who was an all-star this year as well. And they got Tyler Hero playing well, a rookie too. Yeah. So I think I'd probably give the edge to the Heat just as a squad. I like their team as a whole and their identity. Like they have a real identity there. So I like the Heat probably 5 or 6. I'll say 6. Heat in 6.
Yeah. I'm actually saying the Heat in 5, and it's because the news about T.J. Warren and his foot was a slight concern. Also, seeing just how Jimmy Butler shuts him down when it's really time to go, him eliminating that factor. Also, Victor Oladipo has been good at times, but at the same time, we've also been hearing stories about him being discontent in Indiana. This might be when that shows, whether it be discontent or just not happy with how they've handled his injury and things. Remember the possibility of him sitting out because of his injury right when the bubble first started. There could be a Kawhi type situation there. Not saying he's obviously been playing and he's been doing his thing. So obviously it's not the full Kawhi extent. We're just saying that there could be some miscommunications there that transfer over to the court. They have not seemed, while TJ has done his thing as a full unit from what the small clips I've seen, they have not seemed to be they don't seem to have that identity, like you said, like the Heat do. TJ Warren pops out of nowhere, and it's okay. We'll feed him. Oladipo pops up. I guess Oladipo's back to normal. We'll feed him. Yeah. It's not really a system where they have things figured out as they would like to. So with that, I think the Heat, who are hungry. I know what I talked about with that. With that being said, with their inexperience, that comes into play against a team like the Celtics or the Bucks, who we mentioned. But against a team like this, where they're hungry and ready to prove themselves, I think this is a great series where they prove themselves. I think getting this done in 5 is what will happen. So, yeah, Jimmy seems real confident. I think it carries on throughout the rest of the team and to get the job done.
You might have convinced me because I'm torn between like 5 or 6. I think the Heat for sure win it, but I might lean towards 5 as well too. Just some of I don't think they match up the greatest too. It's going to depend also how Miles Turner plays, right? Because he's like they're only real big.
They had Sabonis, right?
He's hurt. He hasn't played. He's out for the season.
Apologies.
No, you're good. Yeah, but that if they had Sabonis now, I think it'd be a lot more intriguing. Because he was an all-star this year as well.
All right.
They do have Brogdon, who I forgot about, who's a really good 40-59 guy.
And others are there too. Yeah, they have pieces. It's just getting all the mesh.
Yeah. But yeah, I might lean towards 5 as well. Heat in 5.
All right. Yeah. I like I said the same thing. So yeah, we both saying Heat in 5, and sadly 5 was too quick from entertainment wise, but I think for what the Heat are going to do, that's what's going to happen. So, I got them in 5. Moving on the list, another one that could be unexpectedly quick is this series between the Celtics and the Sixers. Yeah. The Sixers without Ben Simmons, I don't know how well they're going to do. Embiid is still trying to find his way without Ben there. And
he hasn't played like a full game.
He hasn't really played either. He's been injured too, I think. And he hurt something as well. So, this could be a situation where they get sent home a lot earlier than they expected to, especially as a hungry Celtics squad. So, I might say 5 again. To be honest, it's very difficult to give Celtics any support, but I don't know how. I don't see how the Sixers win this series, this first one against them. So, Celtics in 5, I guess, is what I'm doing.
Well, if Embiid is healthy and playing, then it's more intriguing. I think he is going to play. It's just if he can stay healthy, I don't know. Because it's Embiid, Horford, Tobias, I guess like Shake Milton and Josh Richardson is like their 5 or so. So
that's not beating the Celtics.
That's not going to get it done against the Celtics unless Embiid's going nuts.
Right.
But
Jalen
sometimes though.
They do, but I think they have enough experience now. They've been, Eastern Conference Final situations are already. They have the experience. Brad Stevens just got another contract extension for like 6 years. Like he's ready to earn his money again, and continue to prove that he is the guy that Boston believes he is, as well as the rest of the league sees him as this kind of mastermind type figure that we kind of put him into.
Right.
So with that, as well as Jaylen Brown really finding his way, Jason Tatum leveling up yet again. I think those two, I don't see how the Sixers stop that. So
yeah,
I think number 5.
I'll say Celtics in 6. Yeah.
Well, the East is not as interesting as I thought it was going to be. Sorry, if you on that side, I'm going to tell you because
I don't think we've had a differing take on who the winner of any series will be. Just the amount of games.
And it'll be the same for this last one as well with the Raptors and the Nets. That's going. To be honest, I'm gonna give Karis LeVert 1.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna give him 1. I'm gonna give him 1 because he fought hard, and I think he
nice. He's a bucket.
And those boys, they all on that squad fight hard, even without Dinwiddie or Kyrie or KD or DeAndre Jordan, without any of those guys.
Yeah,
they still fight hard. And in this bubble situation, I think it works for a team that doesn't have the stars for others to still feel comfortable and step up a little bit. So I think Harris and those guys get 1, and it's gentleman's sweep, Raptors in 5. So
I'm right there with you, bro. I mean, I told you too that the Raptors are I think they might be the Eastern Conference champs by the end of this as well too. So I definitely see them taking care of the Nets pretty quickly. But I do acknowledge like Karis is a great player. They're gonna have a nice big 3 if KD is 90% of what he was, and Kyrie's back. That's a nice sneaky big 3. When you get to add Karis to that, so but without them there, the 2K creative players he's playing with, I think they're gonna get 1 out of this series with the Raptors.
Yeah, if that. So the East is gonna be a quick first round. We'll be back to talk about it all. But for now, those are our predictions for all of the first round games and first round series in the playoffs, and definitely looking forward to how that all goes down. Yeah. What else is on the docket for today?
We skipped over the Suns because they had a great showing in the bubble as well too, going 8-0. But unfortunately, even though they went undefeated in the bubble, they still didn't make the playoffs. And so I wanted to talk to you about that, how you felt about them coming to the bubble, going undefeated, but still not making it.
Like I said earlier, talking about Ja, I think I also heard someone on ESPN mention it during a game as well. Well, just about ending on a positive note, though they did not make it to the playoffs, it's a thing where it's better to end 8-0 than it is to end 0-4. And they got to the playoffs and got swept by the Lakers in the first round. It's like, cool, we got there, but we got beat down all 4 games. And now I'm sad because we're losing, going undefeated and ending on a high like that. I think that builds great momentum. We're talking about how great Monty Williams is. We're talking about how great Devin Booker is and how they need to build around him and make sure he stays there. I think if they went 0-4 and got swept in the first round of the playoffs, it would be a different conversation. So I think the way they ended this way is better for them in the long run.
I did see an idea thrown out that I think the NBA could have done, which is having the Grizzlies and the Suns play one game, and the winner of that then playing the Blazers to see who got that 8th seed. What do you think about that?
I mean, that could have been something because they were tied, correct?
Yeah, and I think just by win percentage, the Grizzlies had the 9.
Right. So there's that. There's also the thing where I actually didn't know today because they were talking about on during the game. They said that if the Grizzlies won today, they would play the Blazers again tomorrow.
Right. And they had to beat them 2 times.
There was a chance for 2 games anyways. Let them play the Suns one game and then the Blazers the next and get best of the 3.
I think that would have been perfect because personally, I feel like they shouldn't have even invited the Suns if they could go 8-0 and not make the playoffs. Because every other team had the potential to make the playoffs.
Right.
But, like, they won all their games. They did what you would want them to do, and they're still sent home. Like,
well, I mean,
it's like, I don't know, little tournament for them.
Yes, but at the same time, had the Blazers lost a game somewhere, had the Grizzlies lost another game somewhere, the Suns would have been in. They were right there to get in. So really, it was more of the Blazers holding them off. It was more the Grizzlies holding them off than the Suns having the right to be in there. I think they fought as hard as they could to earn
I
the
think
spot.
the Grizzlies only won like one game before this.
Sure, but based on where they already were, that one game was enough to get them into the game we saw earlier today. Right. So it sucks. And I definitely hear the other theories and how if you go undefeated, you deserve a shot. But at the same time, I still think it worked out the way it was supposed to. So because I still think if the Suns played the Blazers, the Blazers would have won that game as well. Obviously, we'll never know.
Probably, but it would have been another great game too.
Sure. So, hey, if there's another bubble next year, because this virus ain't going away no time soon, if there's another bubble next year, they can fix it that next time. So, we'll see. But for the Suns continuing there, definitely a great organization there that are finally looks like a great.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't know.
That is coming together there. Monty Williams was a great piece there that I'm glad they added at the head coaching position. He won coach of the bubble, deservedly so. And Devin Booker was a finalist, I believe, for MVP. I think Dame went unanimous, but still, Devin should have been in contention. I believe he was. So, I love what I see from them, and they're on their way. Again, we check out the point guards, the Jalen Hughes and other guys. The campaign slipped up as well. Other guys that are on the rise. If they get those guys rolling there and add somebody or guys to keep the level up, that could be a real threat going forward. So definitely looking forward to things in Phoenix. Yeah,
and then sticking along with those teams that were fighting with the 8th seed. We had news today from the Pelicans that they
did not fight at all. They were just there.
That's the point. That's a great point, honestly.
They just showed up.
That was part of my issue with the Pelicans in the bubble. I mean, and maybe that was part of the issue why Alvin Gentry got fired, because it didn't seem like this team was playing with any type of purpose in the bubble at all. Like, I didn't see a fight. I didn't.
Now, how is that? I mean, I kind of know, but just to hear your take on it, how is that the coach's fault?
Well, you got to have your guys prepared to play these games. Like,
yes,
you can't make them play a certain way, but with young guys, you want to have a coach that can like get through to them, like from a mentality, culture standpoint.
I hear that about many teams, about the coaches having to motivate their guys and stuff. Motivate them. We're going to talk about the Bulls. He doesn't motivate them and stuff.
Right.
There's a point where, yes, they are young, but this is not high school. They're still men, and y'all see what the situation is. So even if the coach is not motivating y'all as men that see what the situation is and wanting to prove yourself, Lonzo want to talk about next year you're going to see me. If you felt that way, you have shown that during the opportunities you had already, right? I don't know why it always comes down to the coaching to motivate them. We also have to see that, hey, these are men that are on this court.
Yeah. Well, some of it, like, there's multiple variables to it, because I mean that was only one element of why I could see getting rid of him, because it wasn't just in the bubble too that like there was other games during the regular season where it seemed like they were kind of just going through the motions out there. But it also wasn't just that. It was, like I said in the previous episode, it was his rotations were very shaky. The offensive sets weren't really there. It was a lot of your turn, my turn, just like going one-on-one. They weren't really feeding the ball to BI as much in key situations down the stretch when they should have been. So there was a few things that were mishandled. The GM, president, whoever kind of had a stranglehold on him too. So maybe it's not all Alvin Gentry's fault, because I mean, like I said before, they had Zion. They had the training wheels on Zion. They didn't really let him go full 100%. They kind of held him back this season.
Right.
So that definitely affected the outcome of the season as well too. But I did say that Alvin Gentry was going to be on the hot seat. I didn't expect it to happen this quick. I thought they would give him a shot at the beginning of next season, see how they got off to a start maybe, but nope. Like,
did he even get on the plane? Like, that was quick.
I don't know.
He might still be in Orlando trying to figure something out. that was rough. Oh well.
But,
Now, you being some of the Pelicans fan that you are because of the guys that are there.
Yeah.
If you had the next three steps, what would your next three steps be for the Pelicans, getting them in the right direction? They've already got rid of the head coach.
Right.
Would you hire someone next, trade somebody? What would your next three steps be?
I would hire Kenny Atkinson personally. I think you saw what he did with that young Nets team from a development standpoint. They were able to get an 8 seed. Yes, the East was a little weaker, but he was able to get young guys on the same page, playing for each other, playing for wins, playing hard, and developing their personal games. And I think that's what the Pelicans need. They got a lot of young guys with a lot of talent. More talent than they had, more talent than D'Angelo, I think, and Karras, honestly. B.I. and Zion have super high potential. So I think he would be the perfect fit for them. I've heard Jason Kidd, who's been thrown around, or Ty Lue, but I don't know that that's the best fit from a developmental standpoint. So I would say hiring Kenny Atkinson. I would say trading Drew Holiday. And then I don't really know who's on the free agent market in this offseason, but hiring a good athletic wing, preferably a veteran, probably.
Okay. We shall see. I mean, I'm not as much of a fan of them as you are, but I definitely take note and see what's going on there. I think that they have great potential to be a special squad if they figure it out. So
for sure,
if they follow those 3 steps, or if they find their own 3 steps they think are there however many steps to get these things right, I think that they could be on their way and can be a serious threat going forward.
Yeah. So, I know Zion said personally he's going to be focusing on getting himself in better shape, which a lot of people have clamored for, but he's personally making it a note to get in better shape for himself and his game too. So that's good.
All that. I was just saying all that food in New Orleans got to him that first year. Too much good stuff out there. But yeah, I'm glad you're real good eats. Hey, don't get me started. But I'm glad he's focusing on getting that weight down, because that was a big criticism of him this year, and I hope they turn it around. I want to root from them, and I see the potential they have. So hopefully they reach that. So definitely good things there. Now you mentioned Kenny Atkinson being a potential head coach for them. Another place that I actually thought would be a good fit for him as well is in Chicago. They finally let go of their head coach Jim Boylan, but caused all them problems and had them clocking into the gym and all this other stuff. It was just a whole mess. Zach LaVine had been showing discontent with him just as visibly as possible on the court at times throughout the season. Just like, hey, this man is not treating us right. There were times when I think he had dropped like 40 one time and hit I forgot what he had done. And Jim tried to take him out the game. He was like, bro, like, I'm hot right now. Like, let me cook. And he was, he was mad at him. So there have been plenty of times when he was discontent, and having guys like that, and as well as Laurie, as well as Wendell Carter Jr. and Kobe White and all these other guys that are on that roster, they have a great nucleus that they could build around. If the right guy is at the head. And I think that Kenny Atkinson is that guy, if not in New Orleans. And I would love to see him go to either one of those spots. So, I think the future could be very bright in Chicago if they get the right guy leading them to it. So, any thoughts on the Bulls and their head coaching search?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had to get rid of Boylan. Like, obviously, they didn't have good team success, but players hated them. Exactly. When your star player hates the coach, like, you got to make a decision which one is more valuable to keep. And I think Zach LaVine is much more valuable than Jim Boylan. So I think they made the right decision to part ways.
And Chicago, of all places, should know. We saw with The Last Dance.
Right.
Listen to your players, give them what they want, and they'll figure it out. You have a potential superstar there in Zach LaVine, as well as other stars that I mentioned as well. If they say, hey, we're all here and we all could build something great, but if y'all don't get this coach out of here, we're all gone. It's like, you know what? Okay, he can go and y'all can stay. So I think that they made the right choice. So, I'm with you.
Definitely.
So, great things that could be on the way for both of those squads. Now going elsewhere, I mean, what else is next? Anything else you can get your eyes on right now?
I think NBA-wise, that was pretty much all that I wanted. Oh, lastly, too, about with the teams that were kind of fighting for the 8th seed, the Spurs got eliminated, and this is the first time in 23 seasons that they've missed the playoffs. So that's a crazy streak for San Antonio and Pop. And he was sounding like he's going to come back for another season, which is dope to see. I think people speculated that this might be his last one, but it sounds like he wants to run it back. So
definitely. And he joked about it not being a streak. And to be honest, I like that mentality.
Yeah.
Where
he was talking like Trump. He was like, that's fake news.
Yeah, and he was playing around about that, definitely. Yeah. But just the idea of not looking at seasons in continuation and not seeing it as, because I feel like if you start going, we've gone to the playoffs 10 years in a row, we've gone to the playoffs 20 years in a row, you start thinking it's given. So you ease up a little bit. Look at every season as individual and you work to get there, and nothing is just going to be handed to you. Right. And it makes the approach a little bit more different. And that's how you end up achieving a streak like that. So while he was joking the whole way through, I do like the idea. And I think that's something that the Spurs carried with them as they fought to get the spot, though they did fail this year. So,
And they easily could have been in there if LaMarcus was healthy, too.
Right.
That's a big piece that they were missing in the bubble.
Yeah. So they got pieces there, too. They got, what's his name? How you say his first name?
Who?
Murray. What's his first name again? I'm blanking.
DeJounte.
I was going to say, what's the running back's name? Marcus Murray or whatever. I forgot what his name is.
DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray. I was going to say DeMarco. I'm like, I know his name's not DeMarco. I was going to say that. But yeah, they got Deontay Murray, Derek White, Lonnie Walker Jr., Cullen Johnson's a young guy on the rise over there. They got a bunch of young guys that they can build around as well, alongside who you mentioned, DeMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan too. So they can flip those guys for some other young guys or keep them and continue building, or however they want to do it. They got pieces there that can make them another threat next year as well. So major things across the league in regards to things on the court. But flipping sides to off the court, we got a nice video this week from Drake, and with a couple NBA
and NFL players.
It was a good look. And I know we haven't talked about music on here in a while. I'm someone that loves talking music still. Follow our music page online, Seaside's Music. I gave our music section its own music stuff. If you want to get dope new videos or our 5 list for new music each week, all of it is there. Definitely check that stuff out. When we did talk about music on here, though, Drake was always a major topic because I am someone that really wants to like Drake, but I listen to his stuff and I
like Drake.
And I did. I took it back to his old stuff, but his new stuff just does not do it for me. However, this new song actually was a pleasant surprise. Okay. It still, in a way, seemed like more of the same, honestly, but I think it was still slightly better than the usual he's put out recently. So I really enjoyed it. I think the video aspect of it helped as well. It was a great video. The comedian on the rise, Drewski, had a hilarious appearance in there as well. Right. Marshawn Lynch knocked him out. That route that Drake ran was terrible.
I don't know if you can even call that a route, to be honest.
I don't know what he was doing, but it was all a great look. And he got me again, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm ready for Certified Lover Boy. I'm hoping for good things there.
I feel like it's like a cycle for you. You're like, I'm not really on him, but I want to be. Then you hear something you don't like.
I hear something I hate this man.
Something you like, and you're like, he got me.
he gets me, man. Like I said, I want to like the man. I want to like him. There's just times recently where he just doesn't do it. So this one, he got me though, and hopefully he continues on this path and drops a great album. Because I still think that he has great ones, multiple that he could drop for us in the future. So, I'm in. I don't know what to say.
Me personally, like I like when he leans into his corniness and like the actor goofy kind of side too. Like not afraid to make fun of himself.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Yeah. That was the last thing as well. I have accepted that he's not going to be the gritty, whatever type rapper.
He's not going to give you the 15-track rap album or whatever.
No. He will give me a Diplomatic Immunity or something like that every once in a while, or W Freestyle. Even though Pusha responded with what he did afterwards.
Right.
He has great songs that give me the rap side of what I'm looking for. So he still will give me that. Rumors are he has one on the way. People talk about a leak, or people have talked about that he has some more raps that are like that on the way. So they will still be there. but also seeing who Drake is and who he's shown us that he is. Him just going full Drake, like Drake going full Drake, and being certified lover boy. That's exactly who he is in my eyes. So I think the title's perfect. People were killing the title for some reason. I think it works perfectly, and it's a great fit. And yeah, for who he has shown that he is, and who I have finally accepted him to be, I'm looking forward to it. So,
like we said,
that was my last thing.
I think we were calling him Aubrey for a while. We were saying we weren't going to call him Drake.
Literally,
he leaned into the Aubrey side of himself. For sure. And I like what he does. Honestly, I've said before, I like the more melodic song. I like most all of his music, but personally, the more stuff I prefer more is the melodic Drake songs. And this was more to that side as well too. It was a cool track. It wasn't like exceptional to me, but like you said, I think the video is what made it for me, because I enjoyed the video a lot. It was hilarious to me. Go for it.
I guess another thing too is that we are in a moment where I remember when the bubble first started and we were like, no one's dropping. And then out of nowhere, while we didn't get a lot of big names, a lot of people started dropping music.
Yeah.
All they did do that, and while some of it has been good, as I said, we have a page that shouts out a lot of the good music that has been dropping.
Right.
There's been a whole lot of other stuff, and as someone that listens to all of it, there's been a lot of other stuff that is just here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, that
came and went, even like Drake alluded to on his old project, Nothing Was the Same and stuff. He had that interlude, whatever. So with a lot of music that is here today and gone the next, a lot of it is not, with it not sticking, having a song that does stick for you, it stands out. So though this is more of the same for Drake, it stands out in comparison to not just what Drake has done, but what everyone else is dropping right now as well. So I think that's part of it. Just hearing a good song for the first time in a while, it'll catch your attention.
We can never take away from him. The man's an elite hit maker.
Yeah, exactly.
He does not miss with those like single joints. Like
not at all.
Part of that is his name and his aura at this point in his stage of his career, but he also makes like catchy songs. Like this song has been played a lot for me just off of sheer catchiness alone. So
another thing too is that, to be honest, this, while obviously is going to do Drake's first single type numbers,
right?
Ironically, it does not sound like a first single song to Drake.
It doesn't even necessarily sound like an album cut to me. Like it sounds like one of the songs he'll put at the end of the album,
right?
Like the streaming numbers, but like not like in the midst of the concept or whatever, in the middle of an album. Like it doesn't really sound like an album cut, really, to me.
Right. So with that, I feel like to say maybe Drake is also doing what we asked before and not chasing the hit. I think he's just making good music and letting the songs do what they need to do. We talked about how he's made the God's Plan and the Travis Scott sounding whatever type song, the Tootsie Slide and all of that, chasing the single.
Yeah.
If he just makes music that he enjoys and is that just good music that he knows we'll all enjoy, instead of focusing on how it's going to sell, he can put out a whole album of this and it'll be what we've been hoping for. When he chases for the other stuff, when we get the Scorpion, when we get the More Life, when we get the Views and all this other stuff, I'm not the biggest fan of. So yeah, this not being the typical single for Drake, especially having a little Dirk feature on there, nobody really saw that coming as well. I really enjoyed that. So him not chasing it, I guess you can say, is a pleasant surprise, and that's more of the reason why, like I said, I'm in it again, and hoping for good things with his next album. So
I think he should make more videos as well. Like I think like he comes off like really well, like on screen. Obviously, like he had like the actor background, all that kind of stuff, but in his music video, like he's like a charismatic dude. And
I gotta get back at you because you joked about me a while back about getting lost in Kendrick's eyes. Remember that?
Whoa!
Remember what I was talking about? I'm trying to get back at you. Man, you told me that because you said I was talking about Kendrick and the picture when he was protesting and his eyes.
Oh yeah, no, you got weirdly deep with that.
So I'm getting back at you. You're saying Drake looks good on camera. You like how Drake looks on camera? You think he looks good?
I think he's really funny on camera. That's the thing. Like,
got you. Just saying.
He leans into his corniness really well. Like. He's running with the mask on the treadmill. Like, bro, you ain't an athlete. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, boxing in the water, like Muhammad Ali and stuff. Like he wants to be an athlete so bad, but I mean, he chose the right career for himself. So
yeah, most definitely. Like we say, with that route, football or basketball, those are not for you,
yeah,
sir.
KD was carrying his ass up in one-on-one.
Yeah. And again, I'm looking forward to KD, man. So yeah, all of that, I'm very excited for. Music is continuing to be on the way. I'm someone that I would have loved to get music from right now, but it's no longer with us. Nipsey Hussle. Today is his would have been his 35th birthday. Rest in peace to him. I still remember we lost him the day we lost him, like it was yesterday, and it still riles me up, man. Like it hurts not having him here. I think he would have been so influential during this time. So still hold on to the words that he did give us and news that he did.
For sure.
Definitely spin victory lap on all his projects today and all weekend and forever. So definitely salute to him. Also, another icon whose birthday is today, Chief Keef, turns.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy, man. This dude was only 25.
I saw that. I was like,
I feel like he's been around for decades now.
Because he was like 16 or whatever when his track popped off, right?
Changed the game at 16, man. Came in and took the world by storm, and it has not even been a decade yet.
Yeah.
That's nuts, bro. I feel like he's been here forever, and still not even that. So definitely major. Happy birthday to Sosa out there in Chicago. Hopefully he's doing well. And anyway, I've seen a lot of people wishing happy birthdays today. If you have a birthday today, happy birthday to you. Might as well just give everybody a shout out today. And we'll go from there. Definitely looking forward to all things in the NBA. We will talk NFL, college football, all that stuff later. But for now, that's all I got. And definitely a great episode. So appreciate you, Alec. Anything else you want to end on?
No, I think we covered it all. Excited for these playoffs for sure. Gonna be a lot to take in, a lot to discuss. So
for sure. We'll be back very soon. Hopefully bring a guest on and talk about it too. So that's another episode Section.300. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe to our show below. Thank you for all the love you've been showing us. Make sure you drop a comment on our IG or here as well. Thank you. We'll see you again. We out of here, man. Peace.
Deuces.